Hey everyone, Blaze here, welcome back to another anime haul video. I'm renaming them from pickups to haul, since that's the general term that people use, so that's what I'm doing. Anyway, yeah, I have got here, as you've probably seen in the title, my most ridiculous Funimation Blu-ray haul I've ever done. Uh, I mean, there's some annotations to that, I guess, whereby this is stuff I've picked up pretty much across the whole year. I think the earliest title I have here is from February, so the last 8 months basically. But yeah, while I am concentrating on discotheque stuff, or trying to, it's quite difficult. They're still having like stock problems, so it's still really hard to find things that I want to get. So at one point I decided, this is frustrating. I'm just going to spend, and this is certainly not everything here. There's a couple of pre-orders basically. I got some pre-orders that were limited editions that I wanted to get for titles I love that have come out recently. And once I got those, I was kind of like, let's do like a mini Funimation haul and just get a couple of other things I've been meaning to get for a while. But honestly, most of this stuff is from the previous like 7 months or whatever. Most of the stuff I did not get last month, or even the month before that, I think. So anyway, whatever. Let's start off with the limited editions first, since I don't really collect those very often, so they're kind of interesting. So obviously, one of the best anime ever made is called Attack on Titan. It's really awesome. It comes to an end next year. Obviously, the final season will be coming to us, I think, in the fall of next year. So I've got quite a wait, almost a year from now. Anyway, there's season 2, so I obviously picked up season 3, the limited edition, since I got the limited editions for the others. So yeah, this is basically, there's nothing really special about this other than the box, which basically just keeps up the theme from the others. We got the same digipack packaging, season 3, part 1 of Attack on Titan. Obviously there's 2 parts to this, but the second part came out way later than the first. So the backing sheet came out almost a year later. There's a digital code which I'm probably going to give away on Twitter, since I'm not people. I tried giving them away on YouTube before and I didn't get replies if anyone claimed them. So, but at least on Twitter that people do that, so it's a little bit more easy to know. Anyway, whatever. And then we got the digipack with Blu-ray and DVD and a bunch of stuff inside. Don't really like this packaging, have never really liked this packaging, but I like the boxes. Attack on Titan's awesome, so I've stuck with them to the end. There is a filler box, which I've got a small rip and a crease on mine, because I took it out and it was really hard to put it back in, but there's literally nothing in here included, so that was sort of a shame. Didn't even get like a small keychain or anything like that, like I think the other ones did, so, or even a book. Although, one thing you will notice is that this doesn't, another one of these wouldn't fill this box, so I'm guessing that part 2 is going to come with some sort of art book or something, which is sort of concerning in a way, mainly because it means that how are they going to package that art book with season 3 part 2, will it just get creased, will it just be slapped on the side of the digipack or something like they've done in the past? So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that, but anyway, I assume that's what they're going to do, something like that, and I look forward to buying that probably around this time next year. So yeah, there's Attack on Titan season 3. I still really love this show. In fact, I think season 3 really upped the ante in a great way. We finally got some really major revelations in the story. And yeah, I'm still really enjoying this series a lot. I can't wait to eventually, probably sometime in 2021, when season 4 finally comes to home video, I will probably sit down and watch the entire series all the way through, because I've still not gone back to any of it just yet. I've just watched it as and when they've come out. Haven't watched it with the dub either. I've watched it the whole series in Japanese so far. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So yeah, I got that on pre-order. Another thing I got on pre-order was the latest addition to another one of my favourite franchises. So here we have a Steins, the original limited edition with the 2 parts inside. Then we got the movie with the beautiful foil slipcover, looks really nice. And of course now we have I've only got the first part at the moment, but I picked it up with the limited edition box. I love this box. We've got a Steins Gate 0 limited edition part 1. Really, really beautiful. Still has the boring logo that Funimation use, which I hate, but oh well. Like, look how cool the proper logo is, and this is what Funimation put on the fucking spines. It's ludicrous. But yeah, the rest of this box looks really, really nice. And a cool thing for me anyway, because I really like slipcovers, and it'd be cool that they fit in this box when I get part 2 as well, is if part 1 actually came with the slipcover. And one of the reasons that's cool is because it has alternate artwork underneath, which is nice. And another digital copy I'll probably give away on Twitter. And then we got some actual disc art, which is very cool indeed. So yeah, very nice release of a series which again I really enjoyed. I loved Steins Gate 0. Obviously, if you don't know, Steins Gate 0 is basically the bad ending to the original TV series, and then what happens with that is a huge art book and guide to the series. Very nice. Smells very nice. I love the smell of like fresh ink sort of thing. Anyway, we got the filler box, which has, I don't actually remember what this has in it. Art cards and phone accessory. I don't own a phone, so but yeah, we've got a little phone accessory with I forget what they're bloody called, those things. Goompers? I totally forget what they're called. Oh yeah, there's like this phone. I haven't taken out the wrap, but yeah, there's like this thing, it's got Kurosei on it. I assume you stand your phone on it or something, or is it just like a acrylic standee? I'm not sure. You can kind of see there. I don't know if you can. No. I've also not taken these out either yet, but we've got art cards. I kind of just wanted the box, so yeah. And I bought limited edition for the first part, so I figured I should probably do it for the second one. I'll put that back later. But yeah, I really enjoyed Steins Gate 0 just as much as the first one. Maybe not quite as much, but I did still give this series a 10. Like, I watched 16 episodes in a row. So yeah, I watched like wherever it was, like 7 or 8 episodes the first day, and then 16 episodes the second day. Just after this finished airing with the Funimation dub, I went and marathoned it, and yeah, had a great time with it. I love this series just as much. It's really great sci-fi time travel stuff. Yeah, and this bad ending, as it were, is really cool. It's got some super dark stuff in it, because I really enjoyed seeing this stuff, because after the original series had come out, I read some of the fan translations of like some of the manga spin-offs in Japan that had like prequel stuff, well, sort of prequel, that stuff that was set in the future before a certain character comes back to the past to try and fix everything and that sort of stuff. And yeah, there was like one about Mr. Braun, the guy who owns the shop downstairs, and you know, certain things about him that are interesting. That it was really cool. I really liked experiencing more of what the outer like, because in the original series for Steins Gate, a lot of that stuff, all the bad stuff, is something they're trying to prevent. So but you don't really see any of it, and this one you see that stuff, and I think it was really cool and interesting as a result. And yeah, I know some people don't like Steins Gate 0 as much as the original, and that's yeah, that's fine. But for me, I got just as much out of it as I needed. Like, the original is the original; it's a classic. But yeah, I really like Steins Gate 0 as well. Yeah. Okay, and a limited edition that I kind of picked up on a whim. Or I did pick up on a whim, and not to say I don't want to see this series because it was super popular, but someone was basically selling this on eBay for like the same price as it would cost basically to buy just part 1 with the limited edition box, but it had both parts in it. And I wasn't that really bothered about getting the limited edition, and I kind of regret this purchase in some ways, even though it was a good deal. It was a huge saving. It's just not a limited edition I really care to have. There's nothing in it I care about. Although the box is nice, although it is big, but soon I will have more space to be able to put stuff like this out. But anyway, I picked up the complete series of RE0, starting life in another world. I believe this is another one of those like fallen into like an RPG thing, or at the very least like a person in a strange world, obviously, which has really come back with the whole video game excuse. That genre has come back like crazy. I think just this season there are 6 shows that are based on the idea of a character either being in a video game RPG world or just being a person in a strange world. Like, it's really come back with abundance, that genre. I'm not overly against it, I do like the genre, but it's kind of getting ridiculous how many shows a season are based on it. But yeah, this is a pretty nice box. Obviously there are some problems with this release in terms of gradient, like colouring and stuff is all kind of like, I remember Psycho Pass had this problem, a lot of Funimation stuff has this problem. I wouldn't be surprised, I'm almost 99.9% certain that the discs in here are the ones that have the problem. I bought this before I realised there was even an issue, which is unfortunate. So I might, this is the thing, I might end up selling the limited edition, keeping part 2, and then, because yeah, it has part 2 with the slipcover in here. So yeah, I might end up keeping part 2 and then selling part 1 and just getting a normal standard edition or something. This also only has the Blu-ray disc, that was the other thing, the person had taken the DVDs out. So yeah, but it was just such a cheap deal, and this was a very, very popular show while it was airing, and I figured, well, this is a great chance to get this, I have the money, let's go for it. Like, but I didn't really actually know what was in this limited edition box. There's like a ton, like way too many bookmarks. Just like chibi versions, there's 6 of them, of like all the characters in it. In the series, all the popular ones, and then we've got, what's this? And we've got a guide art book, kind of a guide art book sort of thing. Nice. And then the thing I don't give 2 shits about, I'm not going to unfold it, I'll get it out, but yeah, there is a pillowcase of a, I think it's this one here. I should remember their names because Rob Grodakachi has repeated their names to me multiple times. He really liked this show. I think he has figures of those characters, like the ones in the French Maid stuff and all sorts. He's been bugging me to watch the series for ages. It was actually him bugging me about it all the time, saying, you need to see the series for God's sake. I was like, okay. And then when I saw it on eBay, I went, well, here's a chance to get it cheap with a limited edition box, which would be kind of cool. I don't overly miss buying limited editions that much, but it was kind of, you know, it has been kind of cool to get these bigger box sets for once, and so I haven't bought any like this for a long time, and it does kind of make me wonder if there are a few other shows out there that maybe Sentai put out with their specific editions that maybe I should go and pick up. But anyway, yeah, RE0. Okay, 13 minutes. What the fuck? We have so much more stuff to get through. Okay, let's just crack on then. Okay, so we have like, that was just the first 1, 2, 3, 4. That was just the first 4 things. We have 19 Funimation Blu-rays to get through. Again, stuff I picked up over like the last 8 months, basically. But yeah, a series that I remember picking up last year, or maybe the year before. I think it was last year. Garo the Animation. I adored this series when I watched it. I remember saying in the video when I picked it up that I'd only seen episode 1 and my hype was immense because I just loved it so much and just the idea of this series so much. With like the Makai Knights and yeah, just the whole taking down demons, and this was set in like a European medieval time period, or at least fantasy version of that. And yeah, it was just super cool. I loved the Funimation dub for this. I love like the Spanish, like Latino influences that are in this series as well. It's just a really, really, really cool show. I've come to really love the Garo franchise. I had earlier in February actually watched the first series of the live action, the original Tokusatsu series, which is basically a horror Tokusatsu series. It's not that horrific, but it has its moments, that's for sure. But yeah, I watched the first series, the TV special, the movie, and another special. I need to get season 2. I have the Kraken releasing Made in Japan Blu-rays basically for that. I need to get season 2. I hope to do so in the next Sentai holiday sale, just like I got those in the last one. So yeah, anyway, yeah, Garo the Animation. So, having loved the original series, or the original anime series so much, I had to get the rest of the franchise. So, we'll start off with the one I actually only just got recently and I have now watched, and that is Garo Divine Flame. This is actually a sequel to the original series. It's just a movie. It's really, really cool. I liked it a lot. It basically is just more of the same. I guess it actually maybe fixes one of the issues I had with the original. The only reason I didn't actually give this original series a 10 out of 10 was because I didn't like the ending. It was just one of those really over the top anime endings with a really over the top powerful villain just spouting out a load of like philosophical bullshit when the two characters just fight in this over the top battle. It's very anime, it's an anime cliche. I'm not overly against it, obviously, but it's just something I've seen a lot of, and occasionally it's just really disappointing. It just wasn't what I wanted from the end of this series. But as it turns out, that wasn't the end of the series. This is the end of the series, and I feel like this fixes some of the issues a little bit. It kind of, yeah, filled in some of the blanks, filled in some of the cracks that I experienced with the end of the original. I liked it. It's not incredible, this movie, or anything, but it's a nice encore, if you will, to the original, and I liked it a lot. So, Garo Divine Flame brings back some of my favourite characters. I flipped the artwork. You'll see that a lot. I've done that a lot recently with the Funimation slipcover stuff I have. I've been flipping the artwork around. But yeah, pretty boring disc, just like they've all been pretty much for this series. Anyway, yeah, so that's Garo Divine Flame. Recommend it if you like the original series. It's more of the same and it's pretty cool. Next up, we have the second anime entry. Now, the thing about this series is that they're not really connected. They're just more Garo, more Makai Knights, but they're all set in different time periods. This one's set in feudal Japan era, so we've got Garo Crimson Moon Part 1, isn't it? Yeah, Season 2 Part 1. And then we've got Season 2 Part 2. Beautiful artwork on these. I absolutely adore the artwork on both of these releases, especially the second one. But yeah, this series just wasn't as good. Crazy thing about these, they have no artwork underneath. When I first got these, I was worried, oh crap, have I somehow got bootlegs? And I watched the Giga Frosty unboxing, because he buys everything and unboxes everything, so yeah, I watched his, and yeah, no, this has no inner artwork. I don't know another Funimation release, or at least a modern one, that has just nothing on the inside, which probably goes with a lot of the issues that this series kind of has. And again, we've got kind of boring disc art, the way you need to show the last disc. So yeah, Garo Crimson Moon, it's just kind of stilted. Characters in this are just nowhere near as interesting as the ones in the original. It's just kind of bland, and the story in this is just kind of bland. Like, it's set in feudal Japan, but it's just a really barren version of it. Like, they're supposed to be set in, like, basically the capital, or capital wherever they are. Or wherever they are, it's meant to be like a city. But whenever they're out on the streets, there's just like no one around ever. There's like maybe one or two people, but most of the time it's just nothing. It's just those white brick walls with like the slated edges around, and this like dirt road, and no one about. Even in the middle of the day, there's no one about. In the main street of like this city areas, there's no one ever. And like the series basically takes place like between like 7 locations. It's like their home, the home of like an aristocrat, like the home of like or like the place where the I forget what it's called, like the dog house. What the fucking hell is it? The kennel? Is it called? I can't remember what it's called. The place where they go. It's probably nothing to do with dogs. I don't know why that's come to mind. The place where they go to meet the girls. I've forgotten the names of everything. the girls that give them the missions as like Makai Knights. Like completely forgotten. Anyway, yeah, and you just got like that location, their home, the aristocrats, the barren streets of the city, and like occasionally somewhere out in the wilderness or by a shrine, and that's kind of it. And it's just those 7 locations all the time. This show felt like it was on a budget. And yeah, it just does. It's like, considering the life and the character of the original like anime release of Garo, like this one is just a shell But having said all that, I still got enough out of it. I still kind of liked it more than most. Yeah, I feel like it could have been so much better setting it in this time period when Makai Knights dressed up basically with, along with like dressed up in like their samurai versions of like the Makai Knight like suits, and then just having general samurais around and stuff like. There's so much potential for this series, and it doesn't live up to it. There is actually a movie for this one too. I doubt Funimation are going to put it out. It only came out recently, so they wouldn't have picked it up yet anyway. Like, it came out literally earlier this year. But, I don't know if it's a sequel. I doubt it. It's probably just a retelling, and I think there's potential in a retelling. Like this, there's like I said, this had potential to be really cool, and it just didn't quite live up to it. Maybe the movie does. I hope it at least gets fan subbed. It currently has not even been fan subbed, but I would certainly like to see the movie at some point, because yeah, I had hopes for Garo Crimson Moon. It didn't quite live up to it. And then finally with the Garo stuff, we've got Garo Vanishing Line, which is the modern series. This takes place basically in the modern day. This show reminded me a lot of Michiko and Hatchin, just maybe with like slightly less of that Latino type style to it. But it's kind of similar in a way, maybe. It's probably not similar, I don't know. There's certain elements of it that sort of reminded me of it. But anyway, yeah, set in the modern day, so a little bit darker, sit around like city streets, and then they go basically on this giant road trip to this other place, Shangri-La, I think it was actually called, City of Shangri-La. Yeah, it was alright. I like this one, certainly more than Crimson Moon, but not as much as the original. But it is, yeah, better than Crimson Moon. I don't know if you'll actually be able to see the artwork on this one. Is this part 1? Yeah, so on part 1, I think, on part 1 it shows like the front of, this is the flipped artwork. It shows the front of the Golden Knight, and then the black one. I can't remember the freaking names of anything. It was like a couple of months ago that I watched all this. And then the discs on the inside are pretty plain again, just red for Blu-rays, black for the DVDs. Anyway, and then is that going to go back in? Yes. And then we've got part 2, which yeah, shows the back of the knights. You can't really see it like, very well, but at least the black one. But yeah, and then pretty much the same on the inside. We've got red discs and black discs. So yeah, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Garo Vanishing Line. I haven't really said a lot about it. Like I said, it's just basically the same sort of stuff set in the modern day. So Makai Knight going around taking out demons. There's this girl who is basically being attacked by demons, and this girl here, and she ends up befriending the current Garo Knight, who like Golden Lion thing, whatever, I've forgotten. I just forget everything. But anyway, yeah, she ends up befriending him. He's kind of pretty awesome. He's pretty funny. I'm pretty sure this is actually might be set in America, or at least a fake like America. It's not set in like a real location, but it's sort of like America. So yeah. Anyway, whatever. Garo Vanishing Line. It's really cool if you like Garo, but you should definitely see the original. And then if you like the original, you should definitely see Vanishing Line. And then, you know, maybe watch Garo Crimson Moon at some point if you like, but it's not required. Okay. Still so much to go through. What the fuck? Okay, this isn't necessarily pick up, but this is a